Welcome, everyone. It's great to see our alumni, friends, faculty, and staff here for tonight's silver and gold ceremony. Tonight's event is being hosted by the CU School of Medicine and the CU Medical Alumni Association. My name is Taylor Triolo. I'm class of 2013 and the president of the CU Medical Alumni Association Board of Directors. I want to start tonight by requesting some just logistic things to ask all attendees to have their video on so we can all share in the celebration tonight. And as a quick reminder, please remember to click view in the top right corner of your screen and then select speaker view. And that's going to be the best way to view the ceremony this evening. So that way you can see the active speaker while they're accepting their award. So I'll take a second for you guys to all go up to the right side of your Zoom and click view in the upper right corner and select the speaker format. So tonight we are fortunate to have the opportunity to celebrate some of CU School of Medicine's remarkable alumni with these Medical Alumni Association Awards. Before we kick off the celebration, I want to thank Dr. John Bell, Chair of the Nomination and Awards Committee, and all of our nominators who helped us recognize our 7 extraordinary alumni for tonight's event. I'm always struck by the incredible diversity of career paths and accomplishments among our distinguished alumni and by the breadth and depth of the field of medicine. So it's my great pleasure to begin the award ceremony tonight. The CU Medical Alumni Association is honored to present our first award this evening, the inaugural Recent Graduate Achievement Award to Dr. Matt Rustici, class of 2008. The Recent Graduate Achievement Award honors recent graduates who demonstrate outstanding achievements benefiting their communities, practice of medicine, and the provision of healthcare. Now let's hear from a colleague of Dr. Rustici's, Dr. Jeannie Roosevelt.
Good evening. My name is Dr. Jeannie Roosevelt, and I am the director of the Denver Health Pediatric Emergency Department and Urgent Care. I am delighted and honored that I was asked to introduce this year's recipient of the CU Medical Alumni Association Recent Graduate Achievement Award, Dr. Matt Rustici. Dr. Rustici graduated from the University of Colorado School of Medicine in 2008. The Children's Hospital Colorado Pediatric Residency in 2011 and has been a faculty member since. I am both his direct clinical supervisor as well as one of his mentors. When I was asked if I had time to record this, I said yes, as I knew that I could just dust off the last speech I gave for the last award he won with updating it just a bit. What's it like to mentor Matt? I can sum it up in just a few words. Get out of his way. He is a heat-seeking missile. To demonstrate, these are some of his career highlights from the last 10 years. In 2012, he established the Critical Care and Procedures course elective through a Reimer medical education grant from the Academy of Medical Educators and then became the co-director. In 2013, he was awarded the Golden Stethoscope for Best Pediatric Receptor Award. In 2014, he became the director of Problem-Based Learning. In 2014, he received the President's Excellence in Teaching Award, followed by the Chancellor's Teaching Recognition Award in 2015. These 2 awards represent the highest teaching awards bestowed to educators across the entire School of Medicine. In 2015, he also received the Academy of Medical Educators Award for Excellence in Curriculum Development and Educational Innovation. In 2016, he was inducted into the Academy of Medical Educators and also won the Denver Health Medical Staff Award for Outstanding Teacher for the institution. In 2018, he was inducted into the AOA Honor Society as a faculty. He has been the first author on multiple notable publications pushing the boundaries of medical education in journals such as the Journal of Graduate Medical Education, Academic Emergency Medicine, Medical Education, and Simulation in Healthcare. He has received over $1 million in grant funding to support his educational programs. And this July 2021, he was selected into the prestigious Macy Faculty Scholars Program, which only accepts 5 applicants from across the country after a very competitive process. I wanted to share a few quotes from course evaluations from his elective. There are only a couple of classes during medical school that I can honestly say will make me a much better resident and physician. This is one of them. This was some of the finest teaching I have ever received in my life, not just in medical school. This elective is one of the best courses I have taken in medical school, both because of the content as well as the quality of the teaching. And lastly, this was basically the best 2 weeks of medical school. He is also an all-around good guy, excellent clinician, and he has made my department a better place to work. I would like to finish with a comment from his very first annual evaluation as a faculty member from his previous clinical supervisor. I know that he really likes to teach, but he does also need to see some patients. So please join me in congratulating this year's CU Medical Alumni Association recent graduate award, Dr. Matt Restasi. Congratulations, Matt.
Thanks so much, Dr. Roosevelt. What a wonderful remarks. Dr. Restasi, would you like to accept the award and say a few words tonight?
Thank you. I'd be honored to do both.
Here it is. We're on. I don't know what happened to the other deal, but
I wanted to sincerely thank the Alumni Association for the award. It's really an honor to be the inaugural recipient of such an amazing award for early faculty. I also wanted to thank my wife, Katie, who's also from the class of 2008, as well as my mentors. You saw Jeannie Roosevelt and Rita Lee, who's here, who've really all three helped me with every step of my career and are absolutely instrumental in what I've been able to accomplish to this point. In the Alumni Association, it's been an honor to serve on the alumni board, and I wanted to thank Dr. Don Carino and Dr. Linda Williams, as well as Vanessa Duran, who've been instrumental in helping me get the Alumni Medical Student Council Innovation Fund off the ground. For those of you not familiar with this, the fund awards small grants up to $2,000 to innovative community health projects being led by our medical students. Some examples of these incredible projects include an integrative medical and veterinary clinic for patients and pets experiencing homelessness, a mentorship program to inspire Alaskan Native and American Native students to pursue careers in science and healthcare, and a campus-wide prescription drug recycling program. These projects are truly inspiring and make me proud to call myself an alumnus of a school that's producing the next generation of healthcare leaders and innovators. We hope our alumni continue to be inspired by these projects, and with additional donations to the program, we'll be able to expand the number of projects funded into the future. In closing, thank you again for this award. It's such an honor. It means a great deal to me as a proud member of the CU alumni.
Congratulations. Our second alumni award tonight, the inaugural Recent Graduate Humanitarian Award, is awarded to Dr. Taman Osborne Roberts, who graduated from the CU School of Medicine in 2007. The Recent Graduate Humanitarian Award recognizes a commitment at the start of a professional path to society or humankind and honors those who have provided significant impact through humanitarian service. Now let's hear from Ryan Bealey, who nominated Dr. Osborne Roberts.
Who nominated? Oh, Linda will say something.
Hello, my name is Ryan Bealey, and I'm the Executive Vice President and CEO for the Colorado Academy of Family Physicians. I was honored to nominate Dr. Taman Osborne Roberts for the Recent Graduate Humanitarian Award, and I'm privileged today to be able to introduce him to you and to share a little bit about his background and story and why I believed he was a great candidate for the Humanitarian Award. I've known Dr. Osborne Roberts for nearly a decade now, and I've seen him cultivate future family physicians and other medical students. I've seen him serve in a variety of capacities, both in state agencies and in his clinical work, as well as through service on a variety of boards, including the Colorado Academy of Family Physicians, the Colorado Medical Society, and in the American Medical Association, and a variety of foundations. His dedication to medicine itself is, I think, laudable. But one of my favorite stories is when I first met Dr. Osborne Roberts. He was president or perhaps past chair at the time of the Medical Society, and a number of medical students had cornered him in the hallway because they were inspired by what he was doing for medicine and for patients really throughout Colorado. 5 or 6 students had really just come up to him, and I think he's such an approachable person that he was willing to chat with them for some time, maybe half an hour, just about medicine and their excitement, what they hope to do and accomplish in it. And I think that, from the beginning of when I met Dr. Osborne Roberts, he really embodied that spirit of humanitarianism and really promoting human welfare. He really cultivates, I think, an interest and a joy in medicine for other folks around him, as well as models, I think, what great leadership can look like in trying to improve the systems and structures in our state. Currently, he serves as a health equity fellow at Yale University, and I think we're going to be well served into the future, seeing what he's able to produce from that training and from his work in the program. Dr. Osborne Roberts was the youngest medical society president and first person of color to serve in that role. He was also the first African American president of the Colorado Academy of Family Physicians, and his life for a number of years has really been dedicated to drawing equity or developing equity in the healthcare system for folks who are underserved, for folks of color who historically have not gotten the same great care that their white counterparts have gotten. And I have really appreciated Dr. Osborne Roberts' focus on this and efforts in that realm. He also served as the chief medical officer for Colorado Medicaid, where he was really devoted to ensuring that the underserved and lowest income patients in Colorado get the same care that every other patient with private insurance in the state of Colorado is able to get. His work there and with the Center for Improving Value in Healthcare and serving as the chief medical officer there, bringing data to bear on how we can improve our health systems and improve our payment systems to work for all Coloradans and all residents of those in the state and in the country, I think is deserving of this award in itself. I look forward to continuing to work with Dr. Osborne Roberts and to continuing to see his contributions and benefit from his contributions in the state of Colorado. I think we're all better served for his time and for his volunteerism in the space. And I appreciate your honoring him today with this award. I couldn't think of anybody more deserving. And I'll turn it over to Dr. Osborne Roberts.
Congratulations, Dr. Osborne Roberts. Would you like to say a few words tonight?
No, that's going to be hard to follow, but I suppose I'll try. First of all, I just like to say thank you so much to the CU Alumni Board, the selection committee, and everybody involved. Ryan Bealey for nominating me. I'm not certain who you were talking about, but I guess that was me. And really just to say thank you so much for this opportunity. A special thank you to Vanessa Duran for shepherding me through this process and being patient with me when my busy schedule sometimes made that a little difficult. I have to admit some surprise when I was called and informed that I had been selected for this honor for two reasons. One is that it's surprising that after 14 years from graduation, I'm still an early career physician. But as you get near my age, anybody calling you young is good. So let's stick with that. The other reason really inside of all of that is that really, we always ask this as physicians, why me? We all do the work of helping people. This is really our calling since the time we start medical school, moving on to the time that we eventually either retire or for some of us, move on to our next stage of existence because we just couldn't stop doing this thing we're called to do. I think in my case, it was, much less any distinction from my classmates, many of whom I'm still in touch with, and who are all, like we all are, doing incredible work, serving their communities and helping others. But maybe just due to the fact that I realized something a little bit earlier that many people recognize eventually. I still recall during our graduation day that in addition to our medical school diplomas, we received a copy of the Hippocratic Oath. All of us got that. I actually keep mine framed here at my home to remind me of what it says. And one of the things it says that is that I shall provide for the benefit of the sick all measures which are required. And those measures are oftentimes in the exam room, but so often in the boardroom or in the halls of power of government or in the community or in other places where we are called to do the incredible work that we do. I don't think, that recognition of that, so makes me as much a humanitarian as just another doctor living in the tradition of thousands of years of other physicians and surgeons who've sought to serve their communities in every way that those communities need. That having been said, thank you so much for this award. A few more thank yous, which are very important. I'd like to thank my parents, Valentine and Patricia, who did a lot to raise me and to really turn me into the person I am. I'd like to thank my brother Khalid and my sister Tamika, who have supported me throughout this incredible journey of becoming and then staying and maintaining my role as a physician. I'd like to thank my children, Keston, my son, and my daughter Noelle, who have sacrificed and given up so much of their dad's time so that I could be out there helping others, which is not a small thing for children in their position to do. And to do it willingly and to support me is a big deal. And last but not least, if she'll lean over here into the camera, I would like to thank my absolutely wonderful and beautiful wife of 15 years, relationship of 20 or 21, depending on how we want to count, Camille, for being my love, my life, my first champion, my most ardent supporter and my most ardent critic when I need it, which is more often than I would like to admit, and being the person who, no matter what, has stood by me, supported me, and made my service in the world at all possible. So thank you all.
Congratulations. Our next alumni award tonight, the Humanitarian Award, recognizes lifelong service to society or humankind and honors those who have provided extraordinary service to their community, demonstrating leadership through global or local service. The award honors those who have fulfilled the obligations of their education through creative citizenship and exemplary service leadership in ways that benefit society and bring credit to the institution. Tonight, we will honor two deserving alumni, Dr. Mark Sheehan, who completed his fellowship from the CU School of Medicine in 1981, and Dr. Daniel Smith, who graduated from CU School of Medicine in 1966. Now let's hear from their nominator, Dr. Linda Williams.
Good evening, I'm Linda Williams, class of '84, and the immediate past president of the CU Medical Alumni Association. It is my honor to introduce two extraordinary physicians sharing the Humanitarian Award this year, Dr. Dan Smith, a retired cardiothoracic surgeon, and Dr. Mark Sheehan, a retired cardiologist, both from South Denver. In 2014, they co-founded Christian Medical Ministry to Cambodia, Jeremiah's Hope, an international, non-denominational nonprofit dedicated to providing excellent medical care to the poor of Cambodia and quality medical education to Cambodian physicians at all levels of training, as well as other healthcare professionals. Medical services, medical education, and team participation are not dependent on religion. In 2015, the Colorado Medical Society recognized them as physician heroes, noting that, quote, Jeremiah's Hope has put down deep roots, experienced significant growth, and gained an excellent reputation for world-class medical care to the sick and needy of Cambodia. Historical context is important to better understand the massive challenges that these awardees have faced and the truly extraordinary nature of their accomplishments. At the end of the Khmer Rouge 4-year reign of terror in 1979, 2.6 million Cambodians were dead, including 455 of their 500 physicians. 20 of those remaining fled the country, leaving 25 physicians to care for 4.4 million survivors. Years of civil war followed into the 1990s. As Dr. Sheehan has stated, the problems in Cambodia are so big that no one can write a check to make it right. You can only do your best amid the massive challenges. What has Jeremiah's Hope accomplished? This is an abbreviated list due to time constraints. Regarding patient care, More than 55 volunteer teams from the U.S., consisting of over 700 members, have conducted more than 3,500 complicated clinical consultations and performed 1,200 operative procedures, 350 of which were cardiothoracic surgeries. Team members representing 15 medical specialties, along with RNs and medical support personnel, are highly credentialed, pay their own way, and donate their time. Since 2010, Jeremiah's Hope Cambodian medical staff for the ongoing year-round medical operation in Phnom Penh has grown to 5 physicians, 24 RNs, and 2 administrative staff. Fundraising has begun to build a permanent Jeremiah's Hope Hospital, pharmacy, and outpatient clinic on land that has been recently purchased. Their goal is to turn over the facility to native staff with oversight from Jeremiah's Hope. 4 patients have been brought to Denver for surgeries deemed too risky in Cambodia during their time. With respect to medical education, Dr. Smith stated, we envisioned at the beginning that helping those physicians who remained and assisting the training of the next generations of doctors was an equally important part of our purpose. This has included lectures and lab supervision for students at the primary medical, opportunity for medical students to connect with U.S. teams as paid translators, to shadow U.S. team physicians, and to get additional training in the U.S., ATLS courses and surgical procedure labs, one-on-one mentoring for Cambodian healthcare professionals by their U.S. counterparts from the visiting teams, lectures for Cambodian attending physicians and case collaborations, intraoperative teaching for Cambodian residents, helping Cambodian nurses get their BSNs. They facilitated a partnership between Cambodian physicians and CU School of Medicine researchers on Brugada's syndrome. They established an annual advanced cardiac symposium in Phnom Penh, now in its 6th year, comping medical student, resident, and RN fees. I have known both awardees for 30 years and served on a medical team for Jeremiah's Hope in 2007. Without question, Dr. Smith and Sheehan have changed the lives of thousands of Cambodians, helped to rebuild a third world healthcare system, have come alongside their Cambodian medical colleagues, and inspired U.S. teams to recapture the joy of doing medicine. Arguably, they have changed a nation. The Colorado Medical Society got it right. They are truly physician heroes. And the CU Medical Alumni Association got it right too tonight and honoring these extraordinary physicians and humanitarians. Congratulations, Dr. Sheehan and Dr. Smith. Job well done.
Thanks so much, Dr. Williams. I'd like to invite first Dr. Sheehan to say a few words and accept your award tonight.
Thank you. Dear friends and family, I'm so thankful to Dr. Linda Williams and Dr. John Bell and the CU Medical School Alumni Association for selecting Dr. Dan Smith and myself for the 2020 Humanitarian Award. We are thankful for our Christian Medical Ministry to Cambodia, Jeremiah's Hope Board of Directors, as well as our many financial and prayer supporters for the fruitful years of caring for the poor in Cambodia for the past 21 years. We have been blessed with outstanding medical, nursing, legal, business leadership for accomplishing the care, teaching, and support for our clinic and patients. We're also thankful for the support of the Porter Memorial Hospital, the Parker Adventist Hospital, and the Littleton Hospital for donating medical supplies and pharmaceutical agents for our patients, as well as allowing us to bring 4 patients with complex medical and surgical problems from Cambodia to the Porter Hospital for direct patient care. We're also thankful for Project Cure for sending medical supplies to Cambodia over the many years. I'm especially thankful to my wife, Linda, my bride of 50 years, and the one person most responsible for helping to guide me, and I need a lot of help. I'm also thankful for my son Chris and my daughter Lori for their love and support. I am most thankful to the good Lord for his plans for Cambodia and for including Dr. Smith and myself and all of our team members in these plans. I am humbled to be included in these plans. This ministry is a good example of God's triumphs amid human weakness. It is all for God's glory. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sheehan. Congratulations. And now, Dr. Smith, would you like to say a few words to accept your award tonight? And I think we're going to need you to unmute.
First, I want to thank Dr. Williams also for a gracious introduction and actually for her persistence in putting Dr. Sheehan and I up for this award. She worked at this for several years. Also want to thank the University of Colorado Medical Association for granting this honor. When people ask me why I get involved in a medical mission project, I reflect on a concept of moving from success to significance, first put forth in Bob Buford's marvelous book, Halftime. After building a very successful practice in cardiothoracic surgery in South Denver, I went through my halftime experience in 1997, wondering what this was all about, and decided that I needed to get involved in medical missions to find my significance in life. I first explored opportunities in Macedonia and India, which for multiple reasons did not work out. Then I developed a closer relationship with Dr. Sheehan, resulting in our exploratory trip to Cambodia in the year 2000, and the journey that he and I have had together over the past 21 years. The joys I experienced through these years of involvement in this project are awesome. They include meeting a very warm and gracious culture of people who were decimated by the Khmer Rouge's 4-year reign of terror, the teaching of young and very eager Cambodian healthcare students and young physicians, treating a thankful population of poor rice farmers who had little hope if it were not for expatriate medical teams that come over to treat them, and exposing my peers to the blessings they receive from participating in medical missions. I want to thank my wife, Betty, a wife of 55 years, and my family for supporting me first in my struggle to become successful, but then in this journey of finding significance as it involved over 30 trips to Southeast Asia, requiring a lot of time away from home, and the use of personal finances. I want to thank the University of Colorado for my excellent medical education and general surgery training. I should also state that the medical center was also instrumental in helping us bring the first 2 medical students from Cambodia to Denver in 2002 and 2003 via the Robinson Durst International Scholarship Fund. And they were both here for 3 months for exposure to first world medicine. And finally, I want to thank my God for carrying me through this journey of medical school, residency training, a very successful cardiothoracic surgical practice, and finally, this opportunity to serve him abroad. Thank you.
Congratulations. What incredible work. Thank you so much. Our next award tonight is the Richard Krugman Distinguished Service Award. It's awarded to Dr. Donald Crino, who graduated from the CU School of Medicine in 1991. The Richard Krugman Distinguished Service Award is given to those members, current or past, of this association who are MD graduates of the University of Colorado School of Medicine and who have contributed outstanding service to the association and the University of Colorado School of Medicine. So now let's hear from Dr. Dennis Baddock, who nominated Dr. Crino.
Greetings, fellow alumni. My name is Danny Baddock. I'm the class of 1964 and the current Secretary Treasurer of the Medical Alumni Board. It's my pleasure tonight to introduce to you Dr. Donald Carino, class of 1991, who is receiving the Richard Krugman Distinguished Service Award. After medical school, Don had a great career. He trained in the military, in the Army, and did his anesthesia at Walter Reed Army Medical Center, where he was on the staff 1997 to 1999. He then returned to Denver and was on the staff of multiple hospitals, including Denver Health and Skyridge Medical Center, where he was the director of anesthesia, and from 2013 to 2015 was president of the medical staff. He also was president of South Denver Anesthesiology Associates. In 2015, he decided to have a different lifestyle, moved to Durango, but unfortunately developed a medical illness which caused him to cease practice. Don was not going to let adversity get him down. He's a positive person. He wanted to do something productive. He wanted to help. He wanted to give back. He joined the Medical Alumni Board in 2017, and there was an article in the magazine Momentum that quoted him as saying, "This school gave me everything, my profession, my lifestyle, my life. Why would I not want to get back?" Well, as a board member, his words turned into action. He energized other board members to be more participatory in their involvement with the board. He became chairman of the Fundraising and Finance Committee. As such, with the help of the board, he increased the participation immensely in multiple projects, including the Medical Association Scholarship Fund, the Stethoscope Fund, and the Medical Innovation Fund. Don was also interested in teaching and making sure the next generation of physicians were up to date. He participated in a course called Problem-Based Learning Curve given by the university. My association with Don has been great. He's honest, hardworking, dedicated, loyal, and generous. It's my pleasure to present him tonight to receive this distinguished award. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Baddock. And now, Dr. Carino, would you like to say a few words tonight? Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you very much. First, it's an incredible honor to be given the Richard Krugman Distinguished Service Award for 2020. And I really want to thank the Medical Alumni Association Board of Directors, Dr. Bell and Dr. Baddock, for nominating me for this. I wouldn't be sitting here really right now if it wasn't for actually Dr. Baddock. A very special thank you. We met under interesting circumstances. I actually knew his son, who was the CFO of South Denver anesthesiologist for a number of years. And it was Dr. Baddock that actually encouraged me to get on the board, which I did, and it was probably the best thing I ever did at the time in my life. This is really an award that should go to the fundraising committee. They've done everything. They've allowed me to do everything. The board has allowed me to accomplish what we've been able to accomplish, and I hope we can continue to do so. So many people I'd like to thank: Dr. Williams, Dr. Keefe, for being friends and encouraging me during troubled times. Vanessa, thank you so very much for the same reason. Matt Rustis, sorry, pronounced his last name wrong. Matt has been huge. He's been huge since we've got him on the committee, and he's done so much, as you already heard. Just want to thank everyone, and it's a great honor. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Dr. Carino. Thanks for all of your work that you do for our board. Our next award tonight is for Dr. Deb Parsons for the Distinguished Achievement Award. This award is given to those members, current or past, of the association who are MD graduates of the University of Colorado School of Medicine and who have made outstanding achievements benefiting their communities, the practice of medicine, the provision of healthcare, our association, and/or the University of Colorado School of Medicine. And now we'll share a video from Dr. Parsons' nominator, Dr. Jan Keefe.
Hello, my name is Dr. Jan Keefe, class of 1982. It is my honor to introduce the recipient of the Distinguished Achievement Award for tonight, Dr. Deborah Parsons. Dr. Parsons graduated from the CU School of Medicine in 1984, and her career has been diverse and far-reaching. I have known Deb for over 35 years, since residency. She was a chief resident and then a distinguished internist, geriatrician, a researcher, and faculty. She led the medical staff at St. Joseph's Hospital in Denver for many years. Dr. Parsons has always valued teaching our next generation of physicians. She became the Internal Medicine Residency Associate Director for a decade at St. Joe's. She holds a clinical professor appointment at the University of Colorado School of Medicine and currently teaches at Rocky Vista University and develops curriculum there. She has garnered numerous awards, including the Lead by Example Award from Exempla, the Outstanding Clinical Faculty Award from CU School of Medicine, the Outstanding Clinical Instructor Award from St. Luke's, just to name a few. Dr. Parsons has a gift for collaboration, seeing the big picture, relationship building, and has been a true visionary and pioneer in healthcare policy and access for the underserved. As such, she worked for the Accountable Care Collaborative within Medicaid and its efforts as Senior Medical Director within Colorado Access for 6 years. She worked on the state innovation model through the governor's office and has been a lead in the EQ Health Solutions and Bedside Trust. In organized medicine, she continues to make a difference. She was president of the Colorado Medical Society 3 years ago. Her leadership continues at CMS in the areas of opioid abuse prevention and physician wellness. Dr. Parsons volunteers in many international medical organizations and their humanitarian efforts. The countries she has been involved in include Dominica, Cuba, Turkey, Tanzania, and Ecuador. On a personal note, I would say Deb is one of the most thoughtful, caring, and bright physicians I have ever known. From the bedside to the blackboard to the boardroom, she truly makes a difference every day. So it is my honor at this time to present Dr. Deborah Parsons.
Thanks so much for those words from Dr. Keefe. Dr. Parsons, congratulations. Would you like to say a few words?
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Keefe and the Alumni Association. What an honor for me. And huge thanks to my husband, Dr. Dave Downs, my family and friends who are watching tonight as they've been my support throughout my career. One of my happiest moments at CU was graduation last May. I had the privilege of being the hooder for a fantastic student. While hooding Sophia on stage, I reflected on the collaborative experiences she and I had together on the board of the Colorado Medical Society. It felt like I had come full circle as I remembered my first collaborative experience in medicine at CU. Wind back 40 years to gross anatomy. My dissection team was Linda Williams, Sue Moyson, and Bill Diathridge. May Bill rest in peace. Our task was to dissect out and teach our classmates the pterygopalatine fossa, a small, inaccessible space located deep in the face that serves as a major neurovascular crossroad between half a dozen facial cavities. This was Bill's innovation, and our team created a large papier-mâché replica of the fossa. This complex space helped our classmates truly understand the fossa better. Interestingly, it wasn't mastering this knowledge that I was most proud of. It was the curiosity and camaraderie in bringing a piece of complex anatomy to life that inspired me. Good team experiences followed on the wards, and my mantra for success became teamwork, collaboration, relationship building. I sought these out. On faculty at St. Joe's Hospital, I witnessed that working collaboratively with the patient in the center resulted in more enthused students and residents, improved patient safety, and superior patient outcomes. Problem solving was better. Motivation was higher. Patient safety was stronger when teams worked together. Later in my advocacy and public policy role, working with students like Sophia, I learned that if physicians opt out of engaging in major healthcare issues, we miss the opportunity to have a positive impact on our patients' well-being and our physician careers. So we built collaborative, trustworthy relationships between Colorado's physicians and our state legislators. The result was healthcare policies that made real differences. This Distinguished Achievement Award truly belongs to all of the teams that I've had the good fortune to be a member of. With gratitude to you all.
Congratulations. That's so wonderful. It's now my pleasure to welcome Dr. John Riley, Dean of the School of Medicine and Vice Chancellor for Health Affairs, to present the final award this evening. Dr. Riley.
Thanks, Dr. Triolo. I want to thank, first of all, I want to thank all of you for attending tonight, albeit virtually. Heartened to see the namesake of one of our early awards and my predecessor, Dick Krugman, has joined us tonight. And I think all of you will agree with me that not only are the accomplishments of all our awardees very impressive, but as Dr. Parsons just elucidated, you've heard the impact of the CU medicine community and partnerships on people's careers and the impact they've had over the course of their careers. So it's my privilege to introduce our last awardee of the night. The final award is the Silver and Gold Award, which is the highest honor that is bestowed by the Medical Alumni Association. It recognizes outstanding service to the community and contributions to the science and the art of medicine. And that last phrase is particularly apt in this year's awardee. So it's my pleasure to give you a little bit of a background on this year's awardee, Dr. Barbara Arnold, class of 1968, before we hear from her nominator, Dr. Kenneth Hovland. So Dr. Arnold, as you might guess, and being nominated for this award, has a very impressive career. She graduated from the University of Nebraska in 1965, and 3 years later from the University of Colorado School of Medicine in 1968 at the highly advanced age of 23 years old. And entered into a career in ophthalmology, as you'll hear about from our nominator. This isn't in the script, but I will say parenthetically, to be a 23-year-old woman going into the field of ophthalmology in the late 1960s, she was a bit of a unicorn even then. Throughout her career, she's been heavily engaged in advocacy, which started actually as her senior year after her senior year of residency, when she began meeting with legislators on a regular basis. She is one of the founders of WIO, Women in Ophthalmology, and was the third president of that. And during her tenure as president, started their annual summer symposium. And as you'll see when we hear from Dr. Arnold, she conducts wellness sessions during that summer seminar and shares her passion for watercolor by teaching other people how to paint watercolors. She also teaches painting and watercolor specifically to people who are visually impaired. So I hope you will join me in watching the video from Dr. Kenneth Hovland, who is her nominator for this prestigious award.
Good evening. I'm delighted to introduce Dr. Barbara Arnold for the Silver and Gold Award. With just a brief look at Barbara's CV, one realizes the sizable impact she's had on the practice of medicine in her accomplishments as an ophthalmologist, her role in organized medicine, and her community involvement and philanthropy. I met Barbara some decades ago when she was the first woman resident in ophthalmology program here at the University of Colorado. She proved herself extremely capable and displayed eagerness, reliability, and empathy for her patients. She has a contagious enthusiasm and was well liked by all the staff, her fellow residents, and her patients. While rotating on our retina service, she showed the required stamina for our then 3 to 4 hour retinal surgeries. In addition to mastering all the technical skills required of eye surgeons, she maintained the attributes of being a physician, that is, considering the overall health of her patients. Following her successful ophthalmology residency, she spent 4 years in the Air Force as a flight surgeon. She then took additional retinal training and ultimately ended up in private practice in Sacramento, California. Since then, as a clinical professor of ophthalmology, she has volunteered her time and expertise to the University of California Davis program, working with medical students and family practice residents. In addition to a busy private practice, she has devoted considerable time to organized medicine, including the AMA, California Medical Association, and numerous national ophthalmology organizations, often in leadership positions as a chair, president, director, or delegate. She was one of the initial organizers of Women in Ophthalmology, which has become a major voice. Now, of course, half of the residents and fellows are women. She has received many awards for community service, particularly in the Sacramento area. With a long-standing interest in art, she mentors visually handicapped persons and has even won prizes for her own artwork. Like many of us, she has worked through some adverse life challenges, but throughout her career, she has displayed a cheerfulness, an eagerness to learn, and has shared her talents as a mentor to many. In summary, Dr. Arnold has given outstanding community service, has contributed to the art and science of medicine, has been an exemplary humanitarian, and has displayed active citizenship and professionalism. As a friend and colleague, I congratulate her on being recognized for her accomplishments and receiving this very special Silver and Gold Award.
So congratulations, Dr. Arnold. Truly an incredible career and a major impact on the lives of many people in medicine, not to mention the many patients you've served. Would you like to say a few words as you accept the award here?
Certainly. I will quote the words that I read in a biography of Elizabeth Blackwell when she was at her 50th alumni meeting. She was a woman, the first woman doctor in America, but she said to the dean of her medical school at that time, she wanted to have the behavior that brought honor on her diploma. And I think that's what all of us need to think about years after we finish medical school. Has what we've done for our community continued to honor that diploma? And so I'm thrilled to have this connection to the university that shaped me profoundly. And my mentor, like Dr. Hovland tonight, who introduced me, as a resident, tremendous role model. And so I take that on, as I've had 38 years of volunteer clinical experience here in the UC Davis program, being able to mentor medical students, residents, and the family practice residents. But I'd like to briefly go back to how was it that I discovered Denver or Colorado? I grew up in the panhandle of Nebraska, and my parents would bring us to Colorado for summer vacation. And my mother, who was Pennywise, would take us to Denver by the train the day after Christmas to shop the sales. So I grew up wandering the streets of 16th when it was once a fun retail district, having a fun time in my childhood. Then fortunately, a group of women in medicine, back when I was a teenager, sent out an announcement that if we would come to Denver, we could visit with these women and find out what it was really like to be a woman in medicine. Well, there were very few women in medicine in those years, but I was privileged to take the train. My parents let me travel alone on the train, and I spent a day in Denver, and I met a pediatrician and an anesthesiologist who just seemed like ordinary, nice people. I'd only met women doctors in books, and it was nice that I could meet them face to face, and they assured me that this was a good school and that I would like my time here. But then some of the influence I got as a medical student here that profoundly affected me was the work of Silver and Kemp, because they were the ones that brought to the attention of the world the issues about child abuse. It just seemed unfathomable to think that a parent could hurt their own child, but it took our pediatrics department to clarify this problem, which is now known and understood worldwide. But it's these same families that had the problem with child abuse that also had the problems with spousal abuse or intimate partner abuse. So through our Women in Ophthalmology group, I've been able to lead seminars at our women's meeting and at our National Academy meeting to help other physicians recognize their need to identify and help get services for people who are in these abusive relationships. And oftentimes it's not until somebody has an eye injury or an injury around the orbit that will bring them out of fear to an eye person's office. Otherwise, if they have an injury, they might just cover it up with a jacket or a long sleeve shirt. So this was a medical school influence that has really stuck with me for a lifetime. When I had the chance to spend 4 years in the Air Force stationed in England, it gave me an insightful opportunity to see how the National Health Service worked in England and in Wales and throughout the major cities of Western Europe. Gave me a chance to build friendships with our European counterparts, and gives me a strong influence when it comes to advocacy about trying to make our US health system at its best, because I've seen how people struggle with access to care in other nations. And this was a good lesson to have when you live in another country and see how people access that health care. I'll make another mention about the classes I've been teaching for the visually impaired. I was asked to do it by some friends in Rotary. I don't go around looking for volunteer activities. There's enough things to do the way it is. But when fellow Rotarians asked if I would teach this group of people, it was quite a challenge, because the students showed up with their leader dogs or their white canes or their motorized wheelchairs for quadriplegics, and I had to deal with the classroom. But I've been since 2012. I've actually been 10 years into teaching this class, and it's probably the most profoundly rewarding thing I've done, because in medicine, these people have had maximum therapy. Their diabetic retinopathy is burned out. Their MS has detrimentally given them optic neuropathy, or they've had stroke, vein occlusions. And so there's nothing more a physician could do for them. But yet when they're in the class, they discover that they can make creative art and actually have a joyful experience about seeing what they've accomplished. And as one of my students said to me, she said, well, then if I can make art, maybe I can go on hikes or walks or do other things that I didn't think was possible before. So these people get a new sense of energy
And I really like pouring my heart into this kind of activity because it takes us beyond what we can do in medicine when we're there for another aspect of people's lives. So when I reflect upon what I kind of said as a quick summary here, it's the some of the wellness opportunities we need in medicine so that people can have playful activities with colleagues or invitation from colleagues to do things outside of medicine, because we don't want to lose our colleagues who kind of get all fed up and all used up. Because if somebody had enough faith in us to give us a chance to do medicine, we'd like to be able to retain our medical colleagues. When we had our 50th reunion a few years back, some of the guys in our class remarked that the male faculty gave we women a hard time because there were remarks like, we shouldn't be occupying a space in the classroom. And my stubbornness in my first year of medical school was the notion that I would make sure that I stayed healthy and active and I would not give up early. My private practice opened in 1972. And so when 72 comes around next summer, it will have meant 50 years in private practice, not 50 years out of medicine. And I still love going to work. And my husband is 60 years into his solo country rural medicine practice and is incredibly supportive. And I also have super support from my daughter, my stepdaughters, and my grandkids. So thank you for acknowledging me and my passion to carry full speed ahead in medicine. It's an honor, and I am thrilled to have received it.
Well, congratulations, Dr. Arnold. Very well deserved. I think you'd be happy to know that the majority of our medical students are women now, and that of our 23 department chairs in the School of Medicine now, 10 of them are women. So the landscape has changed thanks to people like you who led the way when it was a fairly untrod path. And I think you see women were well represented in our awardees tonight. So I hope all of you in the audience share with me a sense of admiration and gratitude for the contributions of all our awardees tonight. It makes me very proud to be dean of a school that's created people who or helped shape people who've gone on to have careers that have had such impact, and whose talks tonight have reminded us about what a special community we have and how rewarding it is to have a career in medicine. I want to, before I turn it back over to Dr. Triolo, I want to thank the entire Medical Association, Medical Alumni Association board, in particular Dr. Triolo, who currently serves as president, for organizing this. I want to thank Vanessa Duran and Kara Paget for their tireless activities and keeping us on track and actually telling me what to say tonight. And I want to once again congratulate all of our awardees for their accomplishments and for the inspiration they've provided to the rest of the CU medical community. And I will turn it back over to you, Dr. Triolo.
Thanks so much, Dr. Riley. Wow, I'm really feeling inspired tonight. Thanks, Dr. Riley, for helping present the Silver and Gold Award tonight. But please join me in giving me a hand to all of our awardees for their tremendous accomplishments. It's nights like these that make me feel really proud to be an alumna of the University of Colorado School of Medicine. And it's such an honor to represent you all on the board, and hear all of your stories tonight is incredibly inspirational. So thank you so much to all of our nominators and to our awardees tonight for sharing your stories and inspiring us all. So I hope that you all also feel equally inspired. And to Dr. Barbara Arnold, Dr. Deb Parsons, Dr. Donald Crino, Dr. Mark Sheehan, Dr. Daniel Smith, Dr. Taman Osborne Roberts, and Dr. Matt Rustacy, the entire Medical Alumni Association community is proud of each of you. You set incredible examples for our students and all of our alumni. And so we continue to celebrate you and your accomplishments for our school and beyond. So cheers, tonight is your night. Thank you so much. So we appreciate everyone taking the time to join us tonight at the Silver and Gold Alumni Awards celebration. And thank you so much for coming out and celebrating for all of our awardees tonight. I really appreciate it. Enjoy your evening and congratulations.